Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Another Wednesday, another update, and we are super happy with this one. This is something that added a new functionality, a new feature to Stormworks that we previously didn't have. Well, what is it? Obviously, as you can see here, it is the rotating lights. Before we look into how they work and how they operate and stuff, let's take a look at the notes for the update. So update V1.13.1, the rotating safety light update. And before I start even reading, this type of thing makes me super happy because now we get a new functionality, like I said, something that we can put into our existing creations quite easily too. So it says, this week's minor update introduces a new component, the rotating safety light. It's been requested for players for specific emergency and maintenance vehicles. This isn't just a small component update, but also several important fixes and improvements. Then they say we've been reviewing plans and player feedback, as well as working hard on many new updates. In the new year, our goal is to spend longer on some minor updates, adding some of the features and components that players want, but have been too large for a previous minor update. So that's a good sign. If you watch my video where we talk about the question and answer session we had with the developers, that'll address possibly some of the things coming. Off the top of my head, I could think of the tank tracks. They said they were going to get us narrower ones. A power takeoff where we can have power translated through a pivot, stuff like that. There are some really exciting new components and features on the way that will add a huge amount to the game and how you play Stormworks. Love it, love it, love it. We plan to release a roadmap soon covering our plans for the first half of 2025. As requested by players, we're also launching a new complete the set bundle when buying the remaining DLCs, so that's a bundle discount. And then we go to the patch notes. It says they give us the rotating warning light, and then they fixed some issues. So issues with large mod networks, component translation, file for modding, and some other fixes. Back in the game itself, like we have here, there are a couple different ways I can see these lights being used. They mentioned safety lights, they mentioned equipment. We're going to see exactly how these lights look. Inside the component, we could type in rotating and you get this thing, the rotating light. So it says a rotating light that could be controlled using an on and off signal. Okay, fairly simple. And what we get is a piece or equipment that looks like this. Now, right away, I do like that it doesn't come with a lower block. What I'm talking about is, see how this light kind of has that bottom block associated with it, whereas this one is just a beacon, so more similar to your mounted spotlight. That gives us the easy way to add it to all kinds of creations. Quite simply, you don't have to go and retrofit, even delete a block, you just can go and throw it on. The next thing I want to talk about is the shape and the size. So you could see the base of the light is this kind of unique shape, and if you're familiar with the game, you'll see that it's pretty much the same shape as the rocket fuel. So if you make your way to the top of this, for some reason it's offset slightly, but overall, from this view you could kind of see, but here it's offset. Maybe they'll fix it later, but regardless, it kind of creates a continuous piece. So if you use the rocket fuel, you could end up with something that looks like a pretty solid post, which you could put on your ships or whatnot. And of course, like with the other lights, you can change them by just going over it. Then one thing I wanted to do was test out how to make, like, what pace do they spin at. So all I did is have a constant on, but in addition to that, I put a delay of 0.5 seconds, and you'll notice that that delay makes the lights travel in the opposite directions, or not opposite directions, but at 180 degree difference to each other. So if you want to have two lights like that, which kind of looks a little bit better in my opinion, you can follow that 5 second or 0.5 delay. With them stacked, you can see this a little bit better. So in this case, how they're going kind of opposite. You have to have nighttime to see exactly how these things function. they are pretty strong. So you'll want to keep in mind that when they're on, they actually do illuminate the area around. It's not just a regular light. You can actually get kind of a light show going from them. In this test, we're going to see if plugging the light into a battery with much less charge will make it rotate slower, or if it'll just make your light less strong. So as you can see here, they're both moving at the same speed. So you can't really, the speed of which it spins around is not variable. The only thing that's variable, or that is kind of adjustable, is the fact of the brightness. So you can adjust the brightness, but in that case, if you're just worried about brightness, then I wouldn't recommend using kind of a series of batteries with chargers and whatnot, when you can just go into the light itself and use the additive and just make it like a dark yellow or whatever it is you want. One thing that I have to note, that you can change the rotation speed, and you can actually even make it go the opposite way too. So you can go 300 plus or minus, or you could slow it down to like 10%. So let's play around with how that looks. Now this is courtesy of an awesome person on my YouTube comments that told me about this, because I actually missed it the first time around. So that one is at 300 and this is at 10. So that gives you a good visual of the speed difference you can end up getting, as well as changing the rotation, so making it go clockwise or counterclockwise based on positive or negative. So positive is clockwise, negative is counterclockwise. Awesome little feature. Thank you to the comment on YouTube. I'd actually uploaded this video before and I made my video go private and that deleted all the comments, so I didn't catch your username, but I really appreciate the positivity rather than negativity when it comes to me not knowing everything, but honestly trying my best and learning as I go. Thank you for that. One other thing I wanted to test was my construction light, which kind of flashes in this sequence, how that would look for one of these beacons. So you could see with these beacons, it does function a little differently, and in this case I'd honestly probably just prefer using a regular light switch that flashes like that. The real advantage to using this new rotating light is to kind of illuminate an area, if that makes sense. So rather than to kind of just illuminate, you know, stay out of my way type thing like you see here. This light would be a perfect addition for my life raft. As you can see here, we currently have just a regular light that's connected to that kind of blinker, so it blinks on and off. But I think in this instant it would be better to have the style that can kind of flash all over the place. So we could see here, after it's launched, it will go into this, and again plug that into electricity, and let's see how that looks at night. So on the map itself, I'm going to place two of these little life rafts in the far distance. One has just a regular beacon and one has the new rotating light. And if I go ahead and spawn it, here's the difference. So you can see the one on the right hand side, this is the one with the flashing or rotating light, whereas over there it's just blinking. Now, interesting enough, the distance to which you can see these appear to be the same, so it doesn't actually change your, rescuing someone. Let's see, at least not in normal conditions. Oh, but in fog, there you have it. So that's with 100% fog I just turned on, that you can see. And let's even turn the rain on. Let's not do wind though. Anyways, that pretty much seals the deal. So the new rotating light is that one right there. You could see it quite nicely. Whereas over there is the flashing one. So the flashing one, and granted we are a bit, at a different distance from it, but if I position myself a little more centered, or kind of where a helicopter would see, it would look something more like this. And now we're much closer even to that one. And you could still quite easily make out the one that's rotating on that side. So that's a clear winner for rescuing life rafts and things like that. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully you found this informative and kind of gave you a quick little breakdown of what to expect with this new light update, as well as the other updates that are going to come. Hopefully you stay tuned for other videos on our channel, and as always, happy Stormworksing everyone. I'll see you next time.